Good morning, class. I'm here to inform you how to properly handle your 1911, safely inspect the gun, and how to store it. I'm going to ensure you know your way safely around a 1911. 1911? Yes, a 1911. Commander Special, actually, by Rock Island Armory. Why did I choose a 1911? It's simple. We're all military here. We either own one or want one. It's much like the AR-15. Everyone in the military either wants one or has one. I personally carry this Commander's Edition 1911 as my concealed weapon. It's very important you know how to be safe with your 1911. Today we will cover safety, muzzle direction, basics of the 1911, inspection of the gun, and storage. Safety is key in every aspect of this demonstration for one simple reason. We're dealing with live ammunition and a real gun. You're going to always make sure your safety is engaged when possible. Safety on. Hammer's back, safety's on, good to go. Finger not on trigger. Again, I talked a little earlier about you being the safest person. As long as you feel comfortable with the gun, doesn't make you safe. You need to know the basics about the gun, like muzzle direction. Let's talk a little bit about muzzle direction. Notice the muzzle is always faced away from me. You can either have it away from you or in a downward position. Always away from you or your buddy. You never want to have it pointed directly at him or them. Why is the muzzle direction so important? Well, on a 1911, this particular one, I carry 7 bullets, 45 ACP. 186 grain, travels at 1,800 feet a second. That's pretty fast. Unless you've got really fast friends or you're really fast yourself, you could hurt someone or kill them. The basics of the 1911 will consist of your release for your magazine, which is located here, your magazine, your slide, your safety, your hammer, your trigger. Your slide and your barrel are both in the front of the gun at most times, until your slide reaches the rear, and then it's kind of in the middle, I guess you could say. This is your chamber area, which is where your bullets would be. Let's talk about some of the inspection criteria of the 1911. Well, what would I be inspecting for? Well, it goes right back to safety. Safety is to make sure this gun is unloaded. We know it's unloaded because we have the magazine right here. We know it's unloaded because the breech or the slide is back and it's open and we can see through it. There's nothing there. There's no bullets in the chamber and it's open. The barrel is clean so we can look down it now. There's no chance of anything going wrong. We always keep the muzzle direction away from us until we need to look down the barrel. The only reason you should be looking down the barrel is one of two reasons: to inspect the barrel. So now we're going to be talking about inspection of the gun. We're not cleaning the gun, which would be your other reason to look down the barrel. So inspection of the gun is going to start, I start with the barrel of the gun. I make sure there's no corrosion in my barrel. I make sure my barrel's clean. I work my way front to aft with my inspection. I make sure there's no loose fitting parts. I make sure there's no slop in my slide. You can cycle it a few times. I make sure the safety is in a working manner. How do you check the safety in the working manner? You put the safety on, you put your hand on the grips, and you squeeze the trigger. Now, we only do this in this manner because why? We know the chamber's empty. With the safety on and your hand on the grip, the gun will not fire. Notice the hammer is still in the aft position. You can roll it forward or down, and you notice the hammer cycles up or forward. This means this gun is in properly working condition. The trigger has nice pull to it. The safety features are working. As you notice, the hammer is forward and the safety will not engage. This is one of the safety features designed into the 1911. Unfortunately, due to inspection or further inspection of your gun, there is a dropping hazard on these. There is no block between your fire pin and your chambered round, so the gun could still potentially go off even with a hammer forward. Again, you are the biggest safety feature of this weapon, and for you to know your way around it is going to save someone's life. Now that we know the gun's clean, we've cleaned it, we know there's no rounds in the chamber, we can talk about storage. How do you store your gun? I personally like to get mine good and oiled up. I leave the chamber open, get the oil all around, make sure the gun is clean. I'll cycle it forward. I roll my hammer to the front of the gun. I have my magazine out, of course, because we don't want to cycle any ammunition through it. Now the gun is properly assembled for storage. To store it, I lightly dampen with oil of my preference a cheesecloth. I wrap the cheesecloth around the gun like so, and I place it in a dry, non-moist area like my gun cabinet. So today we have covered safety, muzzle direction, the basics of a 1911, and your inspection of the gun. And we have covered storage of your 1911. I hope with this information you feel safer and can safely maneuver around a 1911 without any fears or dangers. Remember, you are the safest aspect of any gun. I'm Chris Moss, and thank you. This is my speech about 1911 safety, inspection, and storage of a gun.